Well, I've done the unthinkable. I bought myself I was going to say a Mac, but I bought myself an Apple device. I'm saying that because my beef is with Apple, not Macs. Um, don't like the repairability, don't like the upgradability, the cost of extra storage and RAM, but particularly the repairability. Um, but yeah, I am a sort of alternate OS person. I'm a Linux guy, right? And uh, all of my decent laptops are in use and need to still have Windows on them. So I put Linux on some shitty laptops. I forget which were just some things that I've collected off people, half broken, whatever. Yeah, and it was shit because the laptop was shit, and I was just a bit bored, maybe. And I was thinking about these MacBook Neos. Potentially see a lot more people buying MacBook Neos. I do IT support. I don't do Apple IT support, but I do IT support, and there's a possibility that I'm going to be encountering more and more Mac users. I already encounter them from time to time, and it's hugely frustrating. They're not upfront that they're on a Mac. You're on the phone with them, trying to guide them through something in Outlook, let's say, and after 20 minutes, they reveal that they're on a Mac. Things are slightly different on a Mac sometimes, so it's quite frustrating. And I think, why are you on a Mac? You're an employee at this company. I do the IT there. We have PCs. I have them set up in a certain way. You join the company, 2 weeks in, you tell me you're working off a Mac. How has this happened? So, yeah, it's frustrating anyway. But yeah, I just thought, well, I want to tinker with an alternate operating system again. I'm not completely unfamiliar with Macs. I can find my way through it. Relatively au fait with Linux and Unixes in general. I can find my way through, old to newer Unix, So yeah, and I think they were coming up on special offer. They were discounted, which is a rare thing with Apple stuff. They were discounted. The MacBook Airs, MacBook M5, MacBook Pros were not such a bad price if you were happy with 16 gigs of RAM and 512 gigs of SSD storage. However, I started thinking about it and I thought, sod it, I'll do it. Business pays for it, of course. No income tax, no VAT, reduces my corporation tax liability, etc. because my profit's lower because I've spent more on stuff for the business. But yeah, I looked into it and I fancied the non-glossy screen, which was an extra 150 quid. And unfortunately, it meant no special offers, and it was a special order as well, so I had to wait another week or so for it to come. Anyway, there's my waffle about how I've ended up with a Mac, being and sort of somebody who talks people out of Macs generally. I've ended up with one. So I went for a MacBook Pro 14-inch with the M5 Pro. So I sort of stepped it up a little bit. 24 gigs of RAM, terabyte of storage, and the non-glossy screen, nano texture they're calling it. Or you could just call it standard screens from 10 years ago. Anyway, it's good. I'm happy with the screen. I've not been outside with it yet, but I'm happy with it because lately, last few years, I've been on the Lenovo Yogas and I really like them, and they're sometimes an absolute bargain. I'm historically I'm a ThinkPad guy. All of the T series ThinkPads from about 20 years ago, the T30s, T40s, all the way up to the T43P, I think it was. Mostly 14-inch T series laptops. And them things got fatter. Now, if you want something like that, you have to buy an S, a T something S, the slim version. But then I went on to the X series, the X1 Carbons. Really like them. Obviously, I really like them. Keyboard, stunning. Track point. I thought I could never give up the track point. But yeah, last few years, Intel CPUs a bit shit. 11th gen. 11th gen Intel crap, really. And the Yogas, not this one, this isn't Intel, but this is the good Intel. This is the Lunar Lake with the NPU, the good graphics, etc. But yeah, around about, when I was last looking at X1 Carbons, I was like, I'm not getting one with those shitty Intel chips in them. So I got not this Yoga 40, and I got the one before, which I've still got, but that is now used with a particular customer. But that's an AMD. Zen 3, I think it is. Relatively decent graphics, low power, 3nm chip, maybe. And then since then, so I sold that to the customer because they wanted to give me a laptop. So I said, well, buy my laptop off me and I'll buy myself a newer one. And that's how it went. So I've got both now, but that one has only their stuff on it. And then, yeah, so this has been my main machine for some time. And it's got a glossy screen. That's the only problem with the Yogas, right? Why am I making this video? Because I've been using this Mac. I've probably had it since last Monday. So, well, this Monday, and it's now Saturday. So I've had it 4 days. I've been using it. I like it. I'm going to make a point of using it a lot. One sec, password. Tell you what I really like is the keyboard backlighting, or the colour of the keyboard with the backlighting. Like, that's not bad. My other Yoga Slim is terrible because it's all light grey. But this is really good. Like, just the contrast, and that's just the colour of the keys anyway, I suspect. But with the keyboard backlighting, it's bob on. The keyboard quality, yeah, I'm okay with it. Like, these are great. These Yogas have 1.5mm of key travel. It feels a little bit less than an X1 Carbon, but actually it's really good. It's good. It keeps unlocking itself because it's got IR camera face unlock. Now, yeah, why am I making the video? Because I've been when I've been using this for work, I've been using a mouse on site and stuff like that a lot of the time. So at home, laptop wise, lately, I've been trying to use a Mac as much as I can, getting everything on here. I've been doing a bit of programming sometimes, so I've got Z editor. Trying to find a nice terminal that allows some customization without just dumping you into Vim to edit a config file. So yeah, a few little things here: containers, software. I don't know what else to put on here really. Usual stuff, I guess. I'm into music. I'm not actually no good at keyboard instruments, but I've got a bit of a collection going. I like my music stuff, so it'd be good for that. And speakers are freaking incredible compared to this is terrible. The one before was pretty good. This is crap. The one before was 14.5 inch, so overall it was wider and it had larger speakers. This is a 14, and the speakers are rubbish really, and they somehow collect metallic dust and need cleaning out or replacing every 6 months. Hopefully this won't do that. Music apps anyway, yeah, I'm sure they'll become a thing that I will use it for. But obviously, my legit reason for getting it is to become, maybe not an expert, but more au fait with supporting them and stuff. Maybe. Or less frustrated by having to support them. Maybe. Yeah. On top of the cost of buying the thing, by the way, which was quite a lot of money, I think it was about £2,300. Don't forget, extra 150 for the screen, no discount because it was from Apple rather than Amazon, John Lewis, Currys, Asda, Argos, whoever. So RRP price, extra 150 for the screen, and because it was a lot of money and I know what these things are like, £279 for Apple Care Plus for 3 years. So I'm basically paying insurance because I know that I can't fix that screen if it fails, and a shop up the road might fix it, but then the colour tone thing won't work anymore, and whatever, they won't do a perfect job. So I think it's cost about £2.5 grand, which is a lot of money, but you can't take it with you, and our government has made me not want to save up into a pension as much as I was doing now. Yeah, sort of thinking about just spending my money. Anyway, that's a different conversation. Some things that are a bit weird. Now, before it came, I heard about the notch. It wasn't on my radar, and then I'd already ordered it, and then someone mentioned notch. I was like, oh, fuck, I'm going to hate that. But actually, it's fine because, Apple has this, not weird thing, but almost like an Amiga. They have this thing where you have a fixed menu on the desktop that changes for whatever app you're in. Very much like an Amiga, to be honest, Amiga Workbench. Right, so, I'm on the desktop, which is Finder, like your Windows Explorer. I'm in Z Editor, so now I've got a Z menu. Outlook, so I get an Outlook menu, yeah. So I'm fine with that. However, I do think what Lenovo have done is better, which is just it comes out instead of in. Alright, yeah, so there is more of a border there, I suppose. But I just find that a bit more normal. I've always said I hate that Macs stop there. Like the lid doesn't go back any more than that. It's one of the first things I say about them, apart from, when I'm criticising them, apart from the repairability and reliability. Like the reliability, yeah, who knows? But, I've heard the stories. The SSD fails, some part of the SSD fails, it's soldered, you're screwed. A capacitor fails in short, as can happen on any device, but again, you're just screwed because they're not repairable. Okay, so I know Apple have been forced into this repair program where you, as the owner, can repair it if you pay and rent their tools and buy the parts from them, but not a repair shop, only you as the owner. Right. I forgot what I was on about now. So repairability is something I harp on about. But the other thing is that, right? And I always say, like, well, what if you sat in your car? And this happens to me, yeah? I'm in the car. I had it the other day. I was coming home. Yesterday it was. Coming home, get an email. Fraud alert, VoIP, your PBX has been hacked. Whatever, I didn't quite say that. It said, we've detected potential fraud on your line and disabled the line, blah, blah, blah. I was like, fuck. This is for one of my customers. So, laptop out, log in, right? And I'm on my steering wheel. So what do? It's like this. Yeah, because I'm leaning up against my steering wheel. Now, I guess the reality is, in that sort of job, you're not going to be using a Mac, are you? Because maybe they are limited in scope, but I'm going to be looking at it like that. Or car diagnostics, okay, same thing. Maybe you just say, well, Macs don't do that. I suppose it's probably true. Like, none of the diagnostic software, yeah, your VCDS, VAGCOM, or your BMW ISTA, or Porsche PWIS, or whatever, all right, it doesn't work on a Mac, so maybe it doesn't apply, but yeah, I don't know. I've just never liked why stop there anyway. But yeah, as it happens, it's not bothering me. So in day-to-day use so far, it's fine. Don't do that. Come on. Treat it nice. I didn't do that, by the way. Somebody else did that, and it was very upsetting. That and that. 2 of them. This thing was like a week old. And the IT team I was working with freaking did that to it. What has surprised me the most is the touchpad experience, and this is what's prompted me to make a video, because I was looking at I need to make a number plate for a trailer. I know you're not supposed to make your own, but we have got a silhouette cameo vinyl cutter thing, which I bought 6 years ago and I've never used. I wanted to make I wanted to do custom canopies and cut my own stencils and stuff. Yeah. Anyway, I've been given a trailer. It's been parked up for over a year under a tree, and I'm going to use it tomorrow, and I need to change a number plate on it. So I was looking at the Silhouette software, and then I realised it's freaking hopeless on Mac. It's Intel only, and it's blurry, and it's not too bothered about this, but it's sat there pegged at, I don't know if we would call that one full thread stroke core or what, but it's not well, is it? It's not good. Yeah, so I was going to do that, and then I thought, sod this, I'll use the Windows machine. And then I realised it's blurry on that as well, because that's also a high DPI screen. This is what is this? 2800 by 1800. It's glossy though, it's annoying. As soon as I went to do that, I was like, this touchpad is so much better. I'd forgotten, like I was doing my best with this, dealing with things like the scroll direction on a mouse being tied to the touchpad, which is freaking stupid, because you want your, let's go to Google, you want your touchpad to go like that, I think, yeah. But you want your mouse to go the opposite way. Anyway, it turns out there's third-party software that can make that happen for you. But so freaking annoying. I'd be going from mouse to touchpad, and I'd be like, it keeps reverting, keeps going backwards again. Anyway. But, I tell you, right, oh, and other things. I'll tell you what, let's just go over the pros and cons. Let's simplify this. This is freaking heavy. 1.6 kilos, 1.3 kilos. Maybe it's all battery, because the battery is good on that. The screen at first on this, Liquid XDR, is it? I was like, really? Is that full brightness? And I understand that when it detects lots of sunlight, it will go bright. The other thing, though, is that unless you turn off the automatic brightness, you can't get to, like, it's 10-20% less all the time anyway. So indoors, I cannot get it any brighter than that unless I turn off the auto. Then I can go, oh, a little bit brighter. So I was looking at it, like, I'm used to this. This is OLED, right? I'm used to this thing, and all right, I've got it popping even on the desktop. Like, obviously you're not going to be able to tell from the camera, are you really? I suppose, but I don't know. Amazon. Let's just open up Amazon on both. Yeah, you can't really tell, can you? I was initially a bit disappointed with the screen brightness, I'll say that, but I'm alright with it now. I feel like it's just about right, whereas this is like 11, and I normally have it at 7 or 8, but it'll go up to 11 if I want it to. This, It goes up to 10 and I've got it set to 10 all the time. And it's just about okay. So that's the thing. Oh, and by the way, this is OLED Touch for no extra cost. Who knows how much the MacBook Ultra is going to cost, which might have OLED Touch? Well, this has already got it, and this was something like 800 and something pounds. They've gone up now. They're about £1,000. It's an Ultra 7 268V. So on those Intel 258V. Oh, okay. I was just about to say that this 68 means it's got 32 gigs of RAM, but I'm talking rubbish. So it's a 258V with 32 gigs of RAM. Nice. And it was what, £850? Something's chugging away there, isn't it? Interesting. Right, anyway. But yeah, biggest surprise is a touchpad. Okay, so you've got the scroll thing is an issue. Macs, historically, have been known for having really good touchpads, and Windows touchpads have been shit. Hence, and I always really liked the track points, and I use the track point on the ThinkPads all the time. The touchpads, they're okay now. In fact, they've got good on Windows. The precision touchpad thing started a few years ago, and that's evolved to the point where it's now quite good. You know, it's like multi-touch. Yeah. Now, I'm pretty good at using this touchpad. Couple of things, right? Out of the box, it doesn't tap to click, so you can turn that on. So now I can just touch, to do stuff. Touch and lift, right? Now, out of the box, that's not on, and they want you to push for everything. Push. Why? Push. Push, 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 double push, double push. Yeah? No, why? It's just not needed. Tap and lift, tap and lift. Tap, lift, tap and hold. Yeah, or double tap and hold is drag. Here's where it's a problem, right? So you can turn on tap to click, all right? And you can, can I go to like my desktop? Not really, but I was after like that, but I know that as soon as I do anything, it takes me back to the apps. I just want to see all the widgets I've got on the desktop. I want like show desktop. Or minimize all. I'm sure there's a way to do that. Anyway, is it Command in M or something? No. Yeah. Okay, there we go. That's what I was after. And then as soon as I click on the background, it changes. But anyway, it's fine. Or as soon as you click on anything here, it takes you into the app. And but I want to browse my desktop. Anyway, what I was going to say was, you can do tap to select. Watch. Okay. And you can do 2-finger tap to right click. Yeah. Context menu, whatever you want to call it. All right. That's fine. What you can't do reliably is tap to drag, which is like, you have to be able to do it. You can turn it on, but it doesn't work properly. I'll show you why. Like what? Right, watch this. This is how you use a touchpad. Okay. You move to something, double tap to drag. You let go. You're moving your mouse. Yeah, double tap to drag, moving your mouse. You see this? There's Excel. There's a browser window, Excel window. Move it around. Go there. Move that around. Look. So I'm dragging. Now I'm not dragging. Now I'm dragging. Now I'm not dragging. So I'm moving the mouse, but when I want to drag, I'm dragging. Okay. And it's fine. So tap. I'm not pushing down once here. It's all tap lift, double tap move, yeah, all that sort of stuff. On browsing the web, and you can see it's moving pretty fast as well. Obviously, I can change it on the Mac. Pinch to zoom works nicely, and it doesn't matter what angle I'm at, yeah, because I'm just at my natural angle. I'm here, and I'm just doing that. So pinch to zoom, no problem. 2-finger scrolling, of course, all the usual stuff. I think I got the 3-finger thing turned off because I did it by accident. It's a bit of a, it's a bit like this, the expose thing there. Right, but it's this drag, yeah, tap drag, let's call it. Works bloody fine. Works great on Windows. Tap drag. So you double tap, but you keep your finger down. You're moving around, and as soon as you lift your finger, and then go back down, you just moving the mouse, the cursor. You can't do that on the Mac. I'll show you. System settings. Trackpad. I think it's under accessibility actually. Pointer control. Trackpad options. Use trackpad for dragging. Now, without drag lock. Except it's not without drag lock because it still locks for about half a second or 1 second. So you can't use it fluidly like I just did there on the Windows PC. So what happens is now you do get the tap to drag. So you tap and keep it down and drag. That's how that works. But you can't then lift and move your cursor because it stays locked for about half a second. So watch, double tap. I'm moving around, lift, put my finger back down. It's still moving around, lift, put my finger back down, lift, put my finger back down, lift, put my finger back down. I just want to move the mouse. I want to move the cursor. So I'm dragging, right? I'm dragging that. Now I want to move the pointer. I can't. Did you see that? Yeah. Let me zoom out a bit. This camera goes blurry when I zoom out. Watch. Da, da, da. Oh, no, but I'm lifting my finger. So it's locked. It's locked for half a second or something. So you cannot work fluidly like this. Look. Oh, there's Excel. Move that. Yeah, okay, move that. Oh, move that there. Make that so window. Do that. Yeah, do that. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Do that. Yeah, go down there. Move that around. Click up there. Right click. Pinch zoom. Right, the pinch zoom thing also. It's like it works if you. It doesn't like my thumb doing it. I think that's what it is. You ready? Right, let's go wide angle again. Pinch zoom. Right, it's working there. I've had numerous times where it doesn't do it, and it either doesn't like my thumb, or it doesn't like that I'm not doing it sideways, or it wants me to do it like that or something, or it wants me to do it like that. It doesn't like that. I'm at a 3/4 angle. It's actually working okay there now. Definitely had it misbehave a few times. But the main thing is that drag. Look, super annoying. So that has to stay switched off, it seems. I could do speed in that trackpad up there. See, I'm trying to tap drag, aren't I? It's not allowed. No, you have to push down with your thumb, move with your finger, because you can't do that. Or could I? Oh, I suppose no, sorry, that's wrong. I could just push down and yeah, okay, but it's awkward. It makes a load of friction, and there I am trying to. I don't know. So for me, like, it's natural then for me to push down with that and move like that, because moving while pushing down is just weird. I'm applying that pressure. Just makes it hard work. Like here, I don't have to do that. I just double tap and I'm moving as lightly as I like now. Yeah, just smooth and fluid. There I am. I'm trying to do it again. Just naturally, that's what I try and do. So I'm finding this quite awkward. And I've looked into it, and there is no fix for that. You know, there's an app that's fixed this scroll direction thing. There isn't. Oh shit! Sorry. There is no way of altering that delay. Yeah. So I'm quite surprised at that. So I'm a little bit surprised at the quality of the screen. It's good. But £2,500, £900. Alright, the CPU is a lot faster. Definitely. But this is a good CPU and the graphics are good as well. It's the Arc 140V, Lunar Lake, low power. As in highly efficient is what I mean. But this, I mean, I'm not seeing a need for it, but on Passmark, this is exceptional. This annihilates that. Single-threaded and obviously multi-threaded. This only has 4 cores. That's a funny thing about them. Not many cores, but a decent single core performance. 258V. Like it's at about 4,000 pass marks, which is pretty stellar, really. But it's only got 4 cores. It's got okay. Oh, didn't know that. 4 performance cores and 4 efficient cores. Okay, somehow that passed me by. Well, yeah, quite low power, good graphics, and the M5 Pro is better in all regards. I mean, is mine 18 core? I think it is. Let's look. I didn't realise it was that high on the single threaded. I thought it was like high 4,000s. There's Silhouette Studio still chunnering away there. Let's give up on that. Activity monitor, that is a bit crap as well. Yeah, it's pretty basic. There was something I wanted to look at and I couldn't see it. I forget what it was now. Yeah, I can't remember what it was. Anyway, it has its limitations. But of course, we're on a Unix, so you got all their favourite tools and stuff, so it's all good. Yeah, so that CPU is just another level. But yeah, screen a bit disappointing. Price astronomical. And yeah, so am I paying that for CPU? Do I need more CPU performance? Like, this is fine. This is good. Keyboard's better than I thought. Like, I'm probably happy enough on that as I am on that, maybe. Might prefer this one very slightly. Still getting used to figuring out simple shortcuts. Like, for example, there's no delete key. There's a backspace, but there's no delete. But function and backspace appears to do delete, as in delete the stuff to the right. Still learning stuff like home and equivalents, you know, because that's not there. And it's this, you know, you got 4 modifier keys here, haven't you? What do you have on a PC? You've just got Control and Alt, really. So yeah, that's taken a bit of getting used to, really. And some stuff's a bit weird. Like, on what web browser is it not Control and H? Well, Safari on a Mac, because it's like Command and Y to look at your history. Oh, it's always H. H for history. Show all history. Oh, where have you gone? Command and Y. So, a bit weird. And a lot of the shortcuts are, like combinations, which is the same on Windows. What's the bloody snippy one? Is it Shift, Windows, and S for your screenshot? Yeah, it is, isn't it? So, yeah, okay. So, equally obscure, maybe. But yeah, that's going to take some getting used to, and they could do such a better job on this touchpad, considering the reputation they have for them being great and Windows ones being crap. I'm sorry, that's not the case anymore. It's the other way around. Yeah. And then I guess the other thing is the ecosystem. Everything's paid. All right, not everything. But, and I knew this from the beginning, even the little tools. Okay, so that mouse adjustment tool was free, thank God. But most, could you call it public domain software? Most like little add-ons, little tweak tools, things like that. Everything is paid. Like, nobody's just doing it for the fun of it. There's not a lot of that. On Linux, it's all about that. That's brilliant. And on Windows, you can live like that as well. FTP clients, WinSCP, brilliant. Unfortunately, does not exist on Mac. So you've got CyberDuck, which I don't think I've installed it. I've not looked at it yet. I don't think it's. I think they're going to want me to pay at some point, and it's probably not going to be as good as WinSCP. And it just seems like everything. I found a database tool the other day. I used dbeaver on here with PostgreSQL. dbeaver's on here as well, which is great. But prior to that, I had a quick look, and something was recommended. Something tables or something. Table Pro and Table Plus, and one of them came. Oh, there you go, free. So this one was free, but it's got this is the one guy has made something and it's free, unlike Table Plus. So this is his free alternative to Table Plus, which apparently is a really good tool. Yeah. Except even his has got a pricing thing, because I don't know, what is it with Apple Mac stuff? Everything's like, maybe it's because they think Mac owners are all rich. Maybe they are. I don't know. But just in general, there's a lot less free software, I would say. I mean, I've got my usual preferences. I use GIMP quite a bit, and it's there. Wonderful. It's like when I googled GIMP for Mac, someone on Reddit was like, "Oh, it's hell on Mac. What are the alternatives?" Why? I don't understand. What's the issue? Why is it? What's wrong with GIMP on Mac versus GIMP on Linux or Windows? It looks the same to me. I don't know. Yeah, and yeah, there was a free, supposedly free, but probably going to try and upsell something. Art software. I'm not into art, but I often need to edit graphics and logos and stuff like that for, whatever it might be. labels, branding, websites, whatever. So yeah, there is some stuff. Yeah. Doesn't come with a charger. Sort of okay with that because it will. Well, I'm fine with it because I've got loads of 65-watt USB-C chargers. I've just got them everywhere, so I'm fine with that. And although it did come with a MagSafe to USB-C cable, that's not much use to me because it's just got a USB-C plug on the end. None of my chargers have a receptacle. They all have a plug coming out. You can't plug a plug into a plug. However, it happily charges. I can't see. It happily charges from either of those USB-Cs there, much like these do. The Yogas. Yeah, it doesn't come with a charger, and you wouldn't want a charger because Apple are still giving these hideous white wall warts with the laptops. It's like the worst thing ever. First of all, they're white. The computer's not white. Why is it white? And secondly, they're just massive plugs hanging off the wall with a USB lead. Like, what is wrong with them? As in, what is wrong with Apple? I mean, okay, so this one here is a wall wart, right? But it's about a quarter the size of an Apple one. And the reason it's here is because it's my least favourite one. All the other ones are a power brick with an AC lead. So it's long. So yeah, it doesn't come with a charger, and the chargers are shit anyway. So that's that. Yeah. Yeah, so those are my thoughts. When you close the lid, you get a nice dampened clunk, which is nice. I guess it's because of this rubber bit here. Are you ready? Sort of a nice sound, that, isn't it? And this, all the Yogas just sort of go. Yeah. So I think that's more, and this is more. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, why so heavy? Oh, on the screen thing, by the way. So another reason, like another reason I wouldn't have gone for an Air. Like I've really got used to high refresh rate screens. So this Apple call this is it ProRes or something? Everything's got a brand, doesn't it? ProMotion. Sorry, ProMotion. So you got a choice of typical refresh rates or ProMotion. I guess that means variable refresh rate up to 120 Hz or something rather than fixed at 120. I'm not sure. But yeah, look at this. The screen's advertised 1600 nits, which is obviously in HDR, and in 600 normally. Yeah, I don't know. Well, they can't be lying, can they? Yeah, so the Yoga, the £900 Yoga with its touch OLED screen, that is also high refresh rate. Where are we? So, yeah, variable refresh rate up to 120 Hz. Very nice. This is wrong. It's confused about the brightness of my screen because I installed the OS myself, and there was something fishy about the monitor driver file. But I'm happy with how it's set up, how it's tuned. Yeah, I really do notice if it's on 60 Hz. You can accidentally change it on these because I often do Win key and R for the run box all the time. Well, if you accidentally do FN and R, it changes your refresh rate. Oh, there you go. So let's try that again. There. So 60 Hz there. But anyway, going back to what I said before, I was going to do my number plate on here, and then the Silhouette software being a bit shite made me think, oh, I'll try it on the PC. It's shite on there as well. It's actually still blurry on here. But straight away I was like, oh God, I've missed this touchpad. I've really missed this touchpad. Yeah. Oh, one last thing on the Apple stuff, right? And, I know it's not just me. I know people already know this, right? The appearance is a bit weird. This theme is just a bit odd. I know they've been through like glass style and then 3D and flat and so we're sort of flat down here, aren't we, ish. They started out with the glassy thing when OS X first came out. But yeah, it looks like they sort of returned to that for this like I don't know. See the funny kind of outline, and that is definitely a bit weird. It just looks a bit crap. Right, I'm going back to the Linux thing. I keep trying to like KDE, but the themes look awful. It just looks shit. This crappy grey. No matter what you do, I can't really stop it looking a bit crap. And I look at GNOME, and it's, even though it's a bit simple, it's like a breath of fresh air after trying KDE again, and this was only a few months ago. Well, yeah, I mean, that is equally, mostly that there is, I don't know, it's a bit sort of amateury. I don't know, maybe I'll get used to it. It's bringing that gloss thing back, and that I was just talking about around the edges here, and I don't know, I just think, and here, so these borders around the pull down menus. The dark stuff is better when it's dark. I would say it's the light stuff that looks a bit weird. Oh, one last fact. There you go, snapshot, right? Because I've got Copier running doing snapshots for when I'm doing a bit of code developing. One other thing. This file system is supposed to be quite sophisticated. APFS. It supports copy on write snapshots, a bit like ButterFS, BTRFS. And I thought, if I start doing some coding on this, what would be really cool is if I had copy and write snapshots. So automatic backups. I can just revert to previous versions of files. It's similar to Windows snapshots, which on a file server you can schedule it quite easily. On Windows 11 Pro you don't have that option, but you can still create snapshots yourself. You can't do that on here. Well, tell a lie. You can create a snapshot in a difficult way, but a background service will delete them after 24 hours because it seems to think their only purpose is to act as a temporary snapshot for Time Machine. Now, I can't even open Time Machine without nominating an external disk as my Time Machine destination. Apparently, I have to go into Time Machine to look at APFS snapshot settings. Well, I don't want to configure Time Machine because I don't want to connect a USB drive to this because I'm not going to use a USB drive with it. So the file system snapshotting facility is, I can't reap the benefits of it. I can't use it, which I just thought was a bit crap. So I've just set up Copier to. Normally I use Copier with Backblaze for customers for their sort of supplemental cloud backup of the file servers. But I've set Copier to back up to another local directory. So, if I've got a source code directory, I've got Copier on a schedule, but I can also probably hook it in somewhere where every time I rerun a build or something, it will re-snapshot. Something like that. That's what I'm thinking anyway. But yeah, I was a bit disappointed in that. Yeah. I was in the disk utility and there's nothing. There's nothing. You can view snapshots somehow. But yeah, as I say, the main issue is that these. I can't make sense of it either, by the way, because I've put it on view snapshots. So, and supposedly that beneath the volume is a snapshot. So why is that not in the list here then? I mean, so I don't bloody know anyway. I'm sure that's just my lack of understanding about this volume management system or whatever. But yeah, anyway, oops. You can't just do your own snapshots. Or you can, but they'll be pruned by this background service that prunes them once they're 24 hours old. So that's a bit crap. Yeah. Anyway, it's nice to have something different. I'm interested in computers, obviously, hence the job and the career of the last 30 years getting on. So I started working in a computer shop when I was 16 and I'm 44 now. 28 years. I am interested in computers, and this was to have some more interest again. Something new, something different. So I'm not just like criticising it, I suppose. I'm looking forward to getting to know it more and getting to know the system and the way of working, and hopefully more things. What am I trying to say? Like Linux, like KDE, and GNOME, but more guaranteed to work. Obviously, Linux is fine, but the desktop side, KDE, even simple things, trying to get Google Drive to work, it works one time, it doesn't work another time. Trying to connect to your online accounts, your Exchange account, or your Google account, whatever. Trying to connect to SMB shares, might work some ways, but not other ways. I don't know. Yeah, it's. I'm hoping it'll be a Unix workstation with a reliable GUI and ecosystem of desktop apps as well, which of course it is. So yeah, it's got its shortcomings. It's very expensive, but I guess you could say this was very cheap at £800-900 for what it is. If we go back a few years to when the 1 gigahertz DEC alphas were first coming out, computers were very expensive then. To have a fast computer was like a dream. So maybe this is just more in line with that sort of pricing, and this is where things have generally come to, in that they're an affordable commodity. This is more like how it used to be. So yeah, anyway, that's my disjointed sort of rant comparison of Windows v Mac, Lenovo Yoga versus MacBook as of mid 2026. All right, thanks, bye.